What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and I'll be breaking down Mateusz Gamrot versus Jeremy Stephens. Great fight right here. Lightweight bout. Jeremy's, he's coming back to the lightweight division. He hasn't won a fight in a minute. Gamrot is a seasoned contender. I wouldn't call him a seasoned prospect that is, holding some ground in this lightweight division, and someone you got to look forward to. Really good scrapping. I cannot wait for this. In terms of honestly the story, I mean, there's not much of a story going into this. Gamrot is just a prospect, looking for names and cashing checks basically, and trying to get up in those rankings. Jeremy, on the other hand, he is coming through some drama, pushing Jakar close. I mean, I truly believe he was gonna knock Jakar the fuck out. And I think Jakar felt that energy. I think he felt that Jeremy was coming to take his soul away, and he made the right conscious decision. Obviously, there was some medical stuff, so if I'm sounding like I'm talking crazy, hey, it is what it is. I don't like, I will say one thing. I do believe he had that neck issue, and he did the best thing for himself. I'm not saying he faked the injury, but I think he felt. I'm not trying to say anything, but you can't tell me that kid wasn't a little shaking in his boots, so do I believe he had an injury? Yeah. And do I like claiming people fake injuries? I try not to do that. Sometimes I did it with Darren Till because he was pissing me off because he kept talking crazy to Marvin, but besides that, I try not to do that. I don't think that's cool. I think that's kind of mean to do that to somebody. It kind of hurts. And let's say you're wrong and they are really injured, it's a bad feeling. So I'm not going to assume Jakar faked anything. I don't think he's that kind of guy to fake it, but I do think he felt something. Like, just look at his face, him even talking shit. He looks scared talking shit right back to Jeremy, but it is what it is at the end of the day. In terms of the records, Gamrot is 18-1, is fighting out of American top team, but he is from Poland. Age 30, height of 5'10", and reaches 70.5. I was about to say 75. Jeremy, 28-18, been in the game for a long time, fighting out of San Diego, California. Age 35, a height of 5'9", and a reach of 71. So, interesting dynamic. Gamrot is the taller guy, but Jeremy does have a bit of a reach advantage, which is interesting. Man. In terms of notable victories for someone like Gamrot, he's only been in the UFC, he's only had 2 fights. He fought Guram Kudaletsy. That was a split decision. Then he destroyed Scott Holtzman. I don't know what Scott Holtzman was doing in there. I don't know what he was doing in there. I don't know what the point was. He was not there to win, if I'm being honest. He looked like he was in La La Land. He looked like he was lost. And he got dealt with. Gamrot looked so good in there. He looked so good in there. The jab to the body, the 1-2, the wrestling. Gamrot, in my humble opinion, is a really well-rounded fighter. Those are my own, basically kind of like my favorite fighters. Those guys that can do everything. The only thing I would say is lacking is maybe the kicking game. I think he knows how to throw kicks. I just don't think he's comfortable with some of his opponents. Guram is, a crazy Muay Thai fighter, really slick. So he probably was like, I'm not even going to throw kicks. He's going to check that motherfucker. But with Gamrot, he just looked amazing in there. And, he looked good. He looked so good in there, bro. He looked so good. I was so impressed with him, man. He did anything he wanted to Scott. I even liked the jab to the body he was doing. Honestly, I saw a real tremendous. Obviously, the level of opponent went down, but I saw a real improvement in that Kudaletsy fight to the Scott Holtzman fight. The jab to the body, all the work that he was doing with the wrestling, the boxing, the 1-2. He looked amazing in there, and obviously you have to accredit it to his move to American Top Team. And American Top Team just got a gem. This kid was a legit dude in Poland, a legit lightweight champion over there. I think KSW, right? Dude, he was amazing over there. But yeah, but let's talk about the Guram fight. I thought he won that fight, but he had some problems in there. He ate way too many leg kicks, and he got dropped, in the second round. So he dealt with that. but he was able to deal with that adversity. He got a bunch of takedowns and was able to kind of grind it out. But you could tell he was dealing with another high level opponent. They were playing chess, and they weren't playing checkers. And there was a lot of decision making that Gamrot did off the fly when things weren't going his way that I liked, and he showed that he has some real experience and he's ready for the UFC. That's what I liked, is that he was able to rebound. But yeah, I think we've talked enough about Gamrot and how good of a contender he is. Also, I mean, the kid has crazy jiu-jitsu too. Like obviously I was going to transition to Jeremy, but I forgot to even bring that up. His grappling is so good. He doesn't. I would say only thing I kind of, if I was to, maybe criticize him, is maybe his control. But man, the kid in no gi and even gi and all that, he is, I mean, good on the ground, and his wrestling looks good. Everything looks good. This kid is he's just good, man. There's nothing I can really say about it. He's a good fighter. But to Jeremy Stephens, man, he has been in the game for way too fucking long, man. He has been in there for way too fucking long. But I mean, he has gotten better with age. I know it's crazy. He hasn't won a fight in so long, but you look at his last fight against Kattar, he looked amazing in there until he got knocked out. He looked so good in there. And I mean, and look at the opponents he lost to: Calvin Kattar, Yair Rodriguez. That Yair fight was close. Last round, I mean, he got the takedown, got a lot of control. He did good in there. Zabit, it's whatever you want to say about Zabit. He's a good fighter. He's a good contender. Obviously he's a retired man and doesn't want to fight no more, but it is what it is. And Jose Aldo, pound for pound, in my humble opinion, the greatest featherweight of all time. And then he knocked out Josh fucking Emmett, and look what Emmett is doing. It's on a 3-fight win streak. So, that win has probably aged like fine wine. Emmett has become the contender we all thought he was going to be when we first saw him knock out Ricardo Lamas. So, Jeremy, he's done it. He knocked out Doi Ho Choi, beat Gilbert Melendez. He does have that loss to Mocanho. Edgar beat Barao, knocked out fucking Dennis Bermudez in a crazy fight, beat Darren Elkins. I mean, he's beaten a lot of good guys, and he has that win over Rafael dos Anjos, knocked him the fuck out, man. So when I look at stuff like that, you gotta kind of respect it. But when you go back to that victory over, Josh Emmett, the kid looked amazing in there. He puts sensational pressure. The way his boxing and the way he transitions to his kicks are all good. He's not stiff. Like I've seen a lot of Muay Thai fighters, they look stiff with their hands. He doesn't look stiff with his hands at all. The flow, everything looks amazing. His knockout power, he hits with, bad intentions. And in that fight with Josh Emmett, he got caught in the first round. He did get dropped in that fight. He was chasing for the knockout a little too much, and his corner work did amazing job. They told him, hey, slow down. You can't force the knockout. It's gonna come. You gotta wait. And he waited, and he landed this beautiful double hook. He threw the first one, it missed, and then he threw that rear hook. He caught him. Oh man, he destroyed Emmett after that. The ground and pound and the knee, I have nothing to say about that. But he destroyed that man. That was insanity, bro. He killed Josh Emmett that day. And Emmett, he talks about it. It took a piece of his life, that fight. And he did amazing in there. And against Calvin Kattar, his last loss, he looked amazing until the end of the first round going into the second. Obviously Kattar's a slow starter, but the body kicks, even in the boxing, he didn't look bad against Kattar. And Kattar has, really, really good hands. And he was able to really, just tune him up. But what Kattar did good was, finding his range. And when he started landing those 1-2s and he started landing his boxing combinations, that's when it was a wrap for Jeremy. And that he's just that 1-2 just kept clocking him. But one of the best things he did, Jeremy, was returning fire with the 2, and he started catching him in the boxing transitions. And then when Kattar threw that elbow, it was lights out. But it was just a punch, And the fact that people are really underestimating Jeremy in this fight is crazy. This is a legit jump up for Gamrot. I know Jeremy, some people think he's a lot older. He doesn't have it in the tank like he used to. That could be true. Like, I can admit that. But man, the kid is a good fighter, and I ain't doubting him right now, man. I ain't gonna. I'm scared for Gamrot. But one thing I have noticed about Jeremy is he looks good against strikers. But against guys that can mix in the takedowns, he struggled with those guys, And I think that's what Gamrot has to do. Jeremy, he does have a 1 inch, not even like a half an inch of reach on him. So, he got to use that. He has to use. If I'm Jeremy, I would throw the leg kicks. Gamrot had a lot of problems when Garam threw a lot of leg kicks at him, and just put that pressure on Gamrot, and I think that's how Jeremy can win and maybe can get a knockout. Gamrot has been dropped before, so maybe that can happen. But I feel like Gamrot, I think the number one hole in Jeremy's game right now is his wrestling, and I think his body. He's been hurt to the body like twice. All right, against Yair and Aldo. I like Gamrot's jab to the body. Keep doing that. That's there for you all day. I liked how he did that with the Scott Holtzman. He kept jabbing to the body. I like that work that he was doing in there. So for Gamrot, throw that jab to the body. Throw that 1-2. Keep straight shots at him. Don't throw anything crazy. Don't throw anything loopy. And then set up those takedowns. And it's all there for you. The single leg. Especially even the high crotch. If he can get the high crotch there, man, he can get a lot of things on Jeremy. I've seen Jeremy. I wouldn't say he's abandoned his wrestling. He's had decent wrestling, takedown defense. But I mean, he is. I think he is a former high school wrestler. I think he did wrestle in high school. But I just feel like Gamrot has dedicated more time to the grappling than Jeremy. And I just think he'll be the better grappler. And yeah, I think the high single, the high double, I think a lot of those things are there. Even clinching with him. If you got to use a lot of fence stuff, that's good to do. Zabit used a lot of stuff like that where he, put him against the fence, then went for the takedown. So, Gamrot, I think he should win this fight. Gamrot should be the bigger man in there. He is the more natural lightweight. So I think Gamrot should take this. I think by decision. As much as I like Jeremy, and I think this is a dangerous fight for Gamrot, I think if honestly, if you're betting, you're kind of betting on the potential, star power, or not even star power, the potential greatness of Gamrot. And you're also betting on the fact that Jeremy is slowing down and he has lost a lot of fights. So that's how, if you are betting. But also, if you are dog hunting, look at it like this, man. Jeremy has fought high level competition. This is legit his lowest step compared to those guys. Zabit, I've had mixed emotions about him, but no matter what I say, he was ranked number 4 in the world at one point. So it is what it is. But and also, Jeremy, maybe the weight cut was affecting him, and maybe he hits harder at lightweight. So those are things you can bet on. But I think Gamrot is, I think he's the best pick right here. I just honestly, truly believe the wrestling will be there. But you never know. People can get caught. But Gamrot, the reason I even made a breakdown on this fight, obviously this is a great fight, but there's not a lot of things you can really look at besides the Jeremy but Gamrot, this is a great fight. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I gotta go. Someone's calling me right now. But don't forget to follow me on my Instagram. Don't forget to follow me on my Twitter. Love y'all and goodbye.